One of the questions that people ask, evidently, is how do I keep track of costs and where do I stand on expenses for material? To discern how much glue and everything is, come on, buddy, you can get it, you make it, come on. You're too fat. Come on, buddy, okay. All right, to discern how much expense you're costing yourself on the glue and screws and all that, you know, I just don't pay attention to any of that. I pay attention to the big stuff, and the little stuff will take care of itself. Just make sure you don't run out of those things. I do keep the receipts. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much glue you use. Main things don't run out. I use 5-minute resin for assembly, and when I see that jug start to get about this full, I order another $650 massacre of that stuff. It just kills me to spend that for glue. But
how long does that last?
Well, it's according to how busy I am. I probably go through $2,400 worth of that stuff a year.
So about like?
Every 3 months, maybe I'll buy a 2-gallon
so
container.
Like 10 projects?
It's according to if I'm doing a lot of assembly, because 5-minute epoxy is perfect for assembly. And then it also is really good for hole filling and inlaying. My main issue is the cost of the black walnut. And if I pay attention to the big things, the little things will take care of themselves. That is mainly my interest, is in not accruing a big tax bill, never having to be in the rears, and securing the goods. So I'll buy logs maybe once a year, and then I do have a little equipment turnover, so maybe $1,000 worth of equipment a year. That's, you know, hand tools like a mini sander or something like that. And then probably glue is probably right there on the top of the list, especially because of the 5-minute epoxy. I hardly ever use 24-hour resin. And CA glue. I'm doing more veneer projects now, so CA glue is starting to become a real thing. And then blades. Blades are kind of pricey. I just spent $300 on 10 bandsaw blades.
How much was that last wood shipment? That was like, what did you say, 10?
10,000, yeah, for 5 sticks of wood.
And how much was shipping, like 25?
$2,400 for shipping, yeah. You're never going to use all the tree when it's ready as a dry material. So you've cut it, and you've stickered it, and you've waited 3.5 years at 3 inches, 3.5 inches thick. And so you're going to cherry pick the stack. You're going to pick the prettiest and the best looking pieces first. And what you have left over is going to sit while you cherry pick all the other things that you've cut. And eventually you accumulate some of that stuff that's still good, but it's not the prime movers on those logs. And so how do you come up with a value of those? So I kind of have a rule of thumb is wing it, you know. You're never going to be able to figure out the value of that piece if it's not your prime mover. You know, your prime mover is the book-matched boards for a dining room table. And so prime mover is gone, and now you got to figure out what that is. So the creativity comes in trying to figure out how to use those other pieces into your work. So if you have 4 boards that come off of a log, say 5 that come off a log, and you've got 2 good book matches, you've got a 3rd board that is too good to cut up, and then you've got all these ancillary boards that are on top and on bottom. So what I do is I take this one board, whatever shape it is, say it's shaped like that, and I use one of these other boards, and I'll make a pattern with a piece of plywood, and I'll cut that, and then I'll lay that pattern on a piece of the secondary board, and I'll cut that, and then I'll just fit that right in there and butterfly these. And now you've saved this one single board with one of these boards that you really didn't use very much.